A very good afternoon, everyone. Our apologies for the 10 minutes delay, which is inexcusable. I know our technical team was delivering flowers and one of them found another boyfriend. So it's the zone of the day, and that is what is going on. But welcome to the NSSF Financial Literacy Program. This is our 2 hours of when we go back to school. My name is Mboa Apollo, and I'm happy to be your headmaster. I usually I tell everyone here that I am the headmaster of this school, because in this school we humble ourselves and go back to school, and we put ourselves at the knees of the class teachers that will be here today, aka the panelists, to just learn about money. Money is something that we never learn in school, but it's something that we are educated to come and earn. So for this particular program, and today, after what we faced with our back office team delivering flowers, it is Valentine Day. But let's assess your relationship with money. Again, our apologies, and it's inexcusable. It will not happen again, but forgive. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll kick off right away. And my job is the easiest here, is just to make the introduction. So allow me to introduce and then hand you over to our esteemed panelists, who are going to take us through what it is that we need to talk about money and us. I always want to start with reminding you why we do this. Why, as NSSF, do we get to labor to do this? And it is threefold. One, we want to build a financially empowered membership and national citizenry. Everyone should be able to be empowered about the money matters, to talk about money, to have a relationship with money, a meaningful relationship. We want to reverse the current statistics of where people get their money, where people get their salaries, and they have a very short shelf life. You get your salary and it doesn't spend in your pockets more than a week. That needs to be reversed. And we need to have members and then various population segments having options through their lifestyle, financial options. What are the options you have? When you talk about money, what are the options you have? So while we deliberate this, allow me to just introduce a few, and picking from one of our good professors. There are relationships of money that can be described differently. One is the avoidance relationship. A number of us have an avoidance relationship with money. Those people have negative association. They call money dirty. They call wealth. Those people, they find very huge names about money. Anything to talk about money, they have a negative relationship, negative attitude towards money. What is your attitude towards money? Is it the avoidance, or is it the worship relationship? Worship relationship, they will do anything for the money. The more money they get, the more happier. But the more happier they get, the more money they want. It is endless. Money is the circle of money is the center of everything. What is your relationship? I'm just going through this, then I can hand over to our esteemed panelists. There is that repulsive and rivalry relationship. For you and money, you have clearly you have decided that you will never move in the same direction. It comes to you, you go away. You go to it, it goes away. Wives, you do not stay in the same place. You curse each other. You have unkind words for each other. Money calls you poor. You call it. That is for those people who don't. There's much more in life than money. You have great stories on how to get it, but you actually never have any of it. What's your relationship? Today we're talking about money relationships. There are those whose relationship is money is a status. It's a status symbol. Money is a status symbol. Money defines them. Money makes them, they have a price for everything. When they walk into a building, they say, I was driving my 32 million car and putting on my $200,000 shilling shoes. They have a price. Everything is priced. We went to Sheraton and had our 5,000 shilling soda. There's a price. They price tag everything, and they are trying to keeping up. They try keeping up with the Jones, even if those Jones are broke. Money is a status symbol for them. There is another group where money, their relationship with it is mastery. and they are vigilant about it. For money, to them, money is a tool. They keep sending it. They send it to do things, and it comes back with more money. Frugality is key in their lives. What's your relationship? As we celebrate this Valentine's, I want you to celebrate your means, within your means. Within your means, they will appreciate it. They will appreciate it, I'll tell you. If it's not on budget, ladies and gentlemen, this Valentine's, if something is not on budget, then it wasn't that important. Don't give in to peer pressure. If they are buying a car for your girlfriend, and for you do not have anything that your boyfriend is buying for you, it is okay. It wasn't important for them to budget. For those ones, they budgeted for the car. So don't give in and then start asking for that same car. Don't devolve feelings that are out of your range. There is something for everyone. You need to do not introduce new things in your life. You clearly know you are coming from a certain village where some of these things are foreign, and all of a sudden you are getting into that so much English and saying, I need those things. They should be. Who doesn't get me those things? How does it happen? No. Get feelings within your range, within your budget. I am not here to advocate for the stingy people, but don't deploy what you don't have. Don't deploy what you do not have. This Valentine's. If you have words, use them. If you have time, use it. If you have the money, deploy it. But don't deploy money when all you have is time. Don't deploy what you do not have. It is financial indiscipline not to know when to eat money. Ladies and gentlemen, I know the stingy men were coming up and saying, yes, keep telling them. But now I'm also telling you, it is financial indiscipline for you not to know when to eat your money. But I emphasize, it has to be your money. Your money. Because some of you are eating money, but not your money. It is indiscipline. You need to celebrate yourself. You need to celebrate your dear using your money, not other people's money. So ladies and gentlemen, today we have a panel of distinguished panelists, and they're going to be discussing your relationship with money. But before we get into that, let's go to our poll question. Who are we? The panel would like to know who you are. What do you do? Who are you when it comes to this money situation? So that they can get this clear as they deploy their presentations today. They will understand this clearly. So if the back office team is kind enough, please, that poll is saying, who are you? We need to know, are you male? Are you female? What's your age bracket? Are you under 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, or above 50? Let's fill out this and let's have this in the next 3 seconds. This is good for our panelists. They need to understand. Yes, Caroline is asking me for gender. Can we put binary? I'm afraid not. We can't. We will recognize you male as female. You might feel male when you are female, but that's a feeling. For now, let's just stick to these two. I also feel American. I was born in Luwero, but I feel American. The back office team, kindly share with me those results. Share with me those results. Yes, to our panelists today, it is 51% males, 49% females. Kudos to the ladies. Kudos to the ladies. Kudos, because the ladies are just catching up on this money conversation. Just to give a brief to my panelists, the ladies, we've always had a 30-70 split. And we have been drumming up support and say, ladies, get onto this table where we discuss financial matters. And yes, indeed, you are getting there. The majority of our participants are between 30 to 40. The next majority is with 25% is 20 to 30. And 20% are between 40 to 50. And again, we have a healthy number above 50. Normally, we have about 4%. Thank you so much for joining in, ladies. Let's just have our second poll question and understand. What is your just describe your relationship with money. This is good for our panelists to articulate themselves. Describe your relationship with money. And you have the choices, a single choice. Money commands me and I obey. We are playing hide and seek. Me and money play hide and seek. We are on good terms. I have sufficient of it. So I command it. We do not have a relationship at all. I do not know. So where are you? Who are you when it comes to terms? Does it command you and you obey? Is it playing hide and seek? You've been looking for it all this time. Are you on good terms? Do you have sufficient that you can send it and ask it to bring whatever it brings? Or you do not have a relationship at all? You talk about money and you in the same sentence are virtually impossible. Thank you so much. Let's see what the results show us. And the results are, for my panel, yes, 36%, the majority, 16% says I do not know. They do not know. Then a good 4% are saying there is no relationship with money. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that is it from our end, from my side, as I introduce. Allow me to take you right direct to our panelists today. And I am not fit to introduce them. You will hold off on one of our panelists. He's finalizing something. He'll be joining the panel shortly. But for now, without delaying you, let me hand you over to Uncle Mo. Uncle Mo Makanika from Chireka. Uncle Mo, just a few house rules. In this classroom, I am referred to as Sir Headmaster Sir.
Sir Headmaster Sir.
Repeat it again.
Sir Headmaster Sir.
Again, repeat.
Sir Headmaster Sir.
Thank you so much. So, Uncle Mo, the people you are going to be discussing with are NSSF members and the national citizen are at one. They are taken off time, 2 hours of their life this afternoon to just come and discuss money. They have come to school. They understand the value of education. So they have come to school. They even paid school fees to come and discuss money. So kindly introduce your panel. Thank you.
Sir Headmaster Sir. Thank you very much. I am glad to know you, sir. Sir Headmaster Sir, Mr. Mboa Apollo. Everybody online, we are excited to have you here to have another installment of this financial literacy program at NSSF. We're going to talk very interesting things, but before I even start, it is now approximately 3:25. So if the flowers have not yet come, I'm just trying to say that the odds now are really going really against you. But we're going to do our best to keep with you, so keep strong. Probably somewhere in the evening something might come through for you. Now today, ladies and gentlemen, I am Uncle Mo. I'm Makanika from Chireka. I'm very happy to be here, also known as Moses Chiboneka. But I'm not the important person today. The important person today are the people that I have on the panel. A very exciting panel. And I want to start with a fun. Sorry, it took a bit of time to start. Thought we were starting to get worried that our stage has collapsed. No, we're in the building. The building is up and standing, and I want to bring to you a lady that I've been interfacing with on my TV, media personality, because of the things she does that are around transformation of people, training people. She's an expert with developing people's lifestyles. I am glad to know her like that, and today I meet her, a one Hilda Sabiti Bahati. I am happy to have you here today.
Hope you don't want me to call you sir.
No, me. I am.
Like
I am
the headmaster.
I am a student. I'm a student of the. I am part of the teaching staff.
Yeah, it's an honor to meet you.
I'm very happy to see. No, before we even start, I want you to first tell the people that are online who Hilda is.
Okay, now Hilda wears many hats, but I'm a wife, a mother, and I would say an entrepreneur, a people developer. That's it.
Beautiful.
The long and short of it.
But I also understand you are an author.
Yes, I am.
You know, I had a chance to read a book before I knew you. I read a book that was written by you. So I see you on TV, and I'm like, no, that name. So I checked the book, and I found it's called
Deliberately?
something deliberately selfish. Something. Yes, that one. It's a book. It's a book about self-love. So today, all of you out there, you might want to read a lot of this book because you're going to become someone who needs to love yourself in case no one has loved you today. But anyway, talking about, I really, really enjoyed that. Have you written anything apart from that?
Yes, I have tears on my pillow. It's
Why are all your books around the 14th of February?
no, not around the 14th of February. But I think we need to get healthy, just like we need to be healthy with the money.
Yes.
I think we need to be healthy in our self-worth, and loving ourselves. And then the latest release is the coaching book. I'm a coach trainer as well, so I have a mentorship academy. So I train coaches and people helpers.
So those are 3 installments.
Yes.
Of the 3, which one is your favorite?
I'll go back to deliberately selfish because it was an era where I was also developing into this person. I was a people pleaser, the curse of lovely, wanting everyone to be fine and just putting my needs at the back burner and hoping that everything is going to work out until I realized that, in order for me to have a better relationship, even with money,
Yes.
I need to be able to love myself enough and then bring myself into these concepts as a whole person.
Nice. What inspires you to? I mean, what's your inspiration as an author?
My inspiration comes from my pain and the background that I come from. From total poverty, I don't fear talking about this. I know it's the story for so many of us.
And among the prerequisites to come to this panel, you must have first suffered some amount.
So they chose the right person.
Right.
Yeah, so my pain pushes me that I
Yes.
have pushed myself to where I am, definitely with the help of God, personal growth and being intentional and mindful. And I see so many people that are stuck somewhere, and I believe I should be able to extend a hand. And that's why most of my programs are called Hold My Hand. I hold people's hands and not leave anyone behind because
Yeah.
I know that series and the process that I've gone through, people can go through and they can make it in life.
And importantly, at the back of all this, there is some money being made.
Definitely. You have to. Though most of my events are actually free of charge, because I need everyone to be able to come out and be intentional.
It is a system of making money, really. First, give samples.
Yeah, first give samples.
And to dive right into it, I want
The
to
money has to be there. It
Yeah.
has to be passion, purpose, and paycheck.
come again.
Passion, purpose, and paycheck.
The 3 P's.
Mm-hmm.
The Trinity. Now I know those ones. This gets me to ask you, because the conversation today is about people's relationship with
Yes,
money.
yes.
And I don't want to even get into the audience's relationship before I discuss yours. What?
My relationship. Now, I've been through all the stages. I've been through all the stages where it's not even hide and seek, but you are the seeker, and what you are seeking does not want to be found. I've been through the stage, and I've been through the stage of, endless bargaining of, am I ever going to make it? Is it just for some people? Is it for lucky ones or something like that? And then I get to a place where I have enough of it, and then I have sufficient, and now it's working for me. So I've been through all the tears. I know the pain that is attached to each one of them. And I think after you've gone through the process, there is a way it purifies you to be able to have a healthy relationship, whether you want it or not, because this is a choice.
Yeah.
There are those who will get enough of it and then they will just choose to do anything with it. But there's you going through the painful process and you look back and say, I never want to go back to that ditch. So
right.
that is motivation enough for me to actually be a master, because I do not want to be a slave to money. I want to use it. I want to enjoy it. And I want to be able to help others with it.
I hear you. In this time when you said you were playing hide and seek with money, is it a thing of needs, or there is also a thing inside you that tells you want money to define you? We have given money a certain image that we have given it the power to define us. Did you feel less of a person that you didn't have, or when you don't have, the problem is you can't eat?
Now, the thing is, at that moment, I did not have that much exposure to think that way. I grew up in a family where we were so poor, but very content.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you understand what that means. Like
Totally.
you don't admire what others have.
When you're like that, you don't even know that you're poor.
You don't
Or even
know.
when you know you're poor, you don't know how poor you are.
Exactly.
But do you know there's that, people need to understand. Do you know there's that thing, you're poor, but you even don't know,
You don't
like
know.
to what extent?
And
like
then-
you're going to buy a chapati, you have your 1,000, then you find it is 1,200. Like you thought you were poor, but even with poor people, they have told you can't
I
qualify.
know you can't get it.
Yeah.
And there's so many people who are living like that. And sometimes I look at some people and I'm like, okay, right now I've learned to detach myself from people's emotions
Yeah.
because half the time I am thinking the way I'm thinking right now, and yet they're thinking at a different level.
I hear
Because
you.
I used to look at people and I'm like, oh, he's suffering. And yet I discover they don't know they are suffering. And that
Right.
baffles me. So while I was in that moment, I remember at one very crucial thing that really, really happened that got me out of the ditch. And I made a covenant never to be broken ever in my life. It was a time I was at Chambogo. I went back to school after, things had failed, and now I was much older and everyone else was younger.
Yeah, like let me
So-
appeal.
I know it was really an appeal. So I go back in there. I know what I want, but what I want is not marketable, but I feel that is a passion I want. So I go, and this particular day I had 200 shillings. And I had to go back to Chireka because I was in Banda, Chambogo, and I had to walk back to Chireka because that's where I was staying. I went through Banda Market.
Yes.
Because I
Another
knew
place.
if I went home, I would have nothing to eat. So I went through Banda, and my mind told me if I bought carrots, I think I'll have enough carrots in 200 shillings so that I can at least have lunch. And I'm the firstborn. My mother had called me and told me that my siblings had not eaten. And I'd chosen to take myself back to school because I knew if I don't go back to school, my siblings didn't have a future. So I go and I look at this woman and give her the 200 and tell her, give me carrots. She looks at me, a young, beautiful girl, and I think she just thought about her children. I don't know what came to her mind, but she gave me a katasa, a pail of carrots. So I go with a pail of carrots back to my room, one single room with one bed. It was 3 by 6. And so I sit on that pole. Actually, I sat down on cement. And I remember tears gushing out of my eyes. And I looked at the bleak future that if I did not make a turnaround, I was dying and I was burying my siblings and my family. And so I made a prayer to God. And I said, I am going to foot to town tomorrow morning to look for a job. I don't know where I will find it, but I'm going to foot to town to make sure that I look for a job. But I made sure, because that time it was a rough patch for me. When your heart broken and then you're broke. Do you know how that feels? So
Broke,
I was
Pro Max.
So I promised myself that never in this lifetime will I ever be broken and broke ever again. I promised myself. And let me tell you, Uncle Mo, that was the last time.
When you talk about being broke, I had a chat with Sahid Master, the headmaster of this place, Mr. Mbawa himself, and he told me if the things you're fearing, like take 24 hours of your day, 23 hours, fear poverty. The last hour, fear it more. He told me being poor is a bad thing, that you might be stuck in the ICU and they need money and they come to your relatives and they're like, this is going to cost so much.
And
Are you ready?
everyone
And he said, and your relatives will say, "Tumuleka agende."
Let me tell you, they will say that. They're human beings. They feel the pain. But what can you do if you can't do anything about it?
You're costing them when you're sick and when you're alive.
Exactly. So they will let you go.
But you see, this intimate connection you have with having and not having is something you do in your life, in your career as a coach. Do you talk about these things with your children?
Now, my children are younger. I did everything late. I went to school late. I got married late. I gave birth late. So
Even the money came. Did you say
No, the money didn't
was
come.
around?
Not really around, but that whole journey took
Yeah.
really a time. I was not privileged to have it way early in life. So by the time I get the exposure, by the time I put in the work, I put in the effort, I've availed myself, I push it through. Yes, I would say I arrived at the scene later than most people would like to think or would say is convenient, but I'm glad I arrived when I arrived.
Yes, I hear you.
Yes.
Wow. So, because you see, I would think you have that situation whereby you go you go out and say all these big things to congregation, to, I don't know, I was looking. I
Yeah,
was look-
congregations. Yeah, they're congregations.
right? And you see all these things you tell to people. You come back to your own household, and you're like, I should have started here.
Ah, yeah, but you see, when you've gone through the life that I've gone through, and I think not everyone does that, but because I don't want to go back there, I wouldn't want to see my children there.
I hear
So I try so much that even when they're young, there are no solid words I can tell them that, big words and huge words, but I know I've done this with my brothers. To the extent, I will call them when the year is beginning, and I will tell them, I have two brothers, I'll tell them, Muzalebe muna sobola. You cannot give anyone a burden.
So let me ask you this question quickly. I'm going to interject right there. Nyingiza oba kuzala? What brings brokenness here? Where do we draw the line?
No, the thing is, I mean, yes, you can give birth. If you give birth to more than what you can manage, that is also, another gateway that you have opened. But again, there is this poverty mentality that people have, especially in Africa, and not just Uganda, but in Africa, where someone does not go to school and they have a sister somewhere who has their children going to school, and they'll be like, it's only her children going to school and mine are going to school. Well, I mean, I wasn't in your bed. I wasn't in your home while you were doing your family planning, or whether you didn't plan. So why do you want me to carry your burden?
Yes.
I can help, yes, I can extend a hand, but let it not be a must that you look at me pulling my piece of chicken and you're
Yes, and
footing to wherever you have to foot, and then you're putting your head upside down and you're saying, they are not helping us.
I actually had someone talk about that if someone comes and they have a cancer situation, I want to contribute. But if it is something they have brought onto themselves, like their own children, I don't want to hear
You
about.
see? Yeah. I mean, there are certain things I wouldn't want to say here live because, I mean, maybe this is age-appropriate content. So before UCC comes for us, I
No,
will
but
put
I
that in.
totally understand you, because behind all this, there is a human
There are
being.
choices, yes.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we even continue with that conversation, I've been talking to a life coach, so we can talk forever. But I would like to introduce to you another gentleman, ladies and gentlemen, a teacher of our times. I think, if I'm not mistaken, was ordained around 2014, if I'm right. Exactly. He was ordained around 2014, and he has been going to quote unquote. He says, "I teach." I think I heard you say that I am a priest and I'm supposed to say these things. Every time there is no Ugandan that wakes up and they don't have a video of you in their phone, at least in the week. They have to watch you saying something somewhere. I am very glad to have you, Reverend Father Deogracius Chiwi.
Thank you.
How are you, Sebo?
I'm fine.
How are our people? Where are you coming from?
People are fine.
They are very good. Now,
Hope they're watching me.
Are they on? Let us be sure. Are they watching?
I hope so, because I did.
Yeah, okay.
Because I told them that I'm coming here.
Sorry, I just threw you right into the fire. I was talking to Hilda here, and I was asking her relationship with money before I talk about anyone's relationships. And I want to ask you, what is your relationship with money?
My relationship with the money. First of all, I want to say hello to everyone watching us.
No, wait. Sorry, I'm going to cut you short there. There are some people who don't know you.
Oh, okay.
Who is Reverend Father Chief?
Okay, relationship with money. All along, I've been telling people that I love money because of 4 reasons. 1, money helps me to control or manage my life. Secondly, money helps me to live a life of option.
Yes.
I can eat what I want. I can take my kids to any school I want.
Yes.
I can drive a car of my choice. Yes. So money helps you to have an option. Then 3, I like money because money helps me to live a life of social contribution. I can give back. There's no any billionaire I've ever read about doesn't have a give back tunnel. You give back.
Yeah.
And lastly, I tell people that I like money because money helps me to have peace. If I have 20,000 and I'm heading to Masaka, and that's the only money I have in my pocket, I can't even sleep. But when I have money here and everywhere, and on an ATM, I can be able to sleep. So my relationship with money, there is one of the motivational speakers I listen to is Les Brown. He said, "We don't get in life what we want; we get who we are." So when I think of beginning a month and expecting no pay,
Yes.
expecting no income, demanding nobody, that puts my life in a trigger. So my relationship with the money is, I try to manage what I have well, so that it can guarantee me tomorrow in case I don't have.
I totally understand that. And money is, I mean, what you've painted is money is a lifestyle. You know, we live a life where you walk out of your house like this, 20,000 has been spent. You even don't know how,
Yep.
just because you've walked out. That's how money is with our lives. But you see, from what you've explained and from what Hilda talked about earlier, we have given money a certain seat, a certain driving seat
Yep.
in society. I mean, today's Valentine's Day, and so many relationships are going to be strengthened because there was money.
Yeah.
And some will end because there was the lack of today. So I want to understand.
But was that a relationship in the first place?
It's where I want to go. That I want to understand that where do we draw the line between a toxic relationship with money and actually being on our journey to acquiring wealth for us and for our children we're having in this life, Hilda?
The toxic relationship, that is, you mean the toxic relationship between you and money,
Yes.
as a person, without going into other relationships.
Yeah.
Now, when you talk about toxic relationships, definitely this is where you've not really understood what money is supposed to be in your life, or you are operating at an emotional level about money, and you're not being objective, or you're not being clear about what it is that you want at the end of it. So if this relationship is going to be toxic, that means you are doing something wrong that does not guarantee that that money is either going to come to you, and even when it comes to you, that means it can't stay with you, and even when it stays with you, that means it can't grow. Because you have to earn it, you have to be able to maintain or grow it, and you have to be, the cycle has to, to be repeated. So where the toxicity comes is we as individuals are the ones that are toxic. An object as money cannot be toxic.
On its own.
Yeah, on its own, it can't. But we are the ones that think for it, we are the ones that send it, we are the ones that use it, we are the ones, so the moment we use it in the wrong way,
Yes.
that's how it becomes toxic. Just like the Bible says that the love of money is the beginning. I think the Luganda one has a better way of saying it. Not really like you getting the money is the root cause of, but the love of it, that you are willing to do anything dubious in order
Is
to
what-
get it.
yeah.
So you see how the toxicity comes. You've been playing cat and mouse with money, hide and seek with
Yes.
money, and all of a sudden you're thinking, you know what, then I should and I think the same Bible talks about okwegumba, or
Yes.
wanting, coveting. I want exactly that car, and then you're like, you know what, I better kill him and get that car. So it's us, the people, that bring our toxic tendencies and narcissistic tendencies towards money. But the money on its own, that is a very beautiful tool that God put into our hands to be able to accomplish his work and touch his people and be able to change so much in the world.
And that makes so much sense, because if I may quote the good Reverend Father, I think around 2021, you said a moneyless relationship is risky.
Actually, not only that. Recently, they told me, one of the Rotary clubs called me to talk something about a manless relationship is risky. But I said not only is a manless relationship risky, but even manless life is even risky. So when you do not have any money, so you were talking about where do we draw the line between the toxicity in the relationships, then even acquiring wealth and our financial freedom and so on. You see, the problem we have here in Uganda and maybe in many parts in Africa, you see, we grow up from very, very humble homes, and we are not so much acclimatized with this thing called this money.
Yes.
Many people have gotten money after school.
Yes.
They could be given money, little money for pocket money. So getting some huge sums of money comes after 30. And when it comes in a lot, you don't know what to do with it. You know, so that's where the entire problem is, that people work hard, they get the money, but they don't know how to manage it. I know some people who have flown out of the country to go and celebrate their Valentine's Day somewhere else, and they have gone husband, wife, and children. They have gone out. So these are people who have a plan. So when you have a plan with your money, I think all other issues are easy to manage. But the problem is people work so hard, they get the money, but when the money comes,
Yeah.
they don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to manage it. That's the biggest problem.
I hear you. If I may just go back to the earlier thing I asked, I really want to hear your sentiments about how
The
a
risk.
relationship becomes risk. That statement is always ringing in my mind. A moneyless relationship is risky.
It's risky.
Yes.
Because when there is no money in a home, in a marriage, in a family, there are a lot of tensions. A lot of tensions.
That's true.
Then even the children become unruly. You know, I've been talking about if someone is a man in a family and is like an elder brother, because you can be in a home when the woman is the one taking care of everything. That means you are reduced from being a husband to like someone like an elder brother. You know, so when so you cannot be at peace. You can't be at peace. So the riskiness in not having money in a home are the tensions and so on. The other time I was reading some statistics about marriage, and they said there are so many people who entered marriage when they are okay, but now they are many of them have developed cardiovascular sicknesses, high blood pressure. Most of these sicknesses are coming because of lack of money. So this is the problem. This is a challenge. Me, I'm a priest. I'm assured of breakfast, lunch, supper. I don't pay rent. But again, if my pockets are empty, I don't feel at peace with myself. So money is something. I read about the most successful people in the 21st century, and I drew 50 lessons from them. Actually, even I've written a book that I'm yet to publish called A Desirable Rules to a Seven-Driven Life. And one of the things I read mostly about is money. So money is a tool that we need to drive life, to drive marriage, to drive our ambitions and our future.
That's
So
very
the topic, you and your money, actually is a health check for each one watching. People need to be talked to know how far they can go and what to do exactly that tomorrow is safe, because today is guaranteed, this year is guaranteed, your job is here, by tomorrow or next year there's no guarantee.
Yeah, and I want to bring in the idea of insensitivity. You know, you will have singers, you know, and relationship experts and stuff tell people, you know, hang in there, you know, marriage, there is always, you know, problems and what. But when it comes to money, the heart fails after some time.
Yeah.
You can hang in there, you can be patient, okay, and at some point you will not be patient anymore, you will lose it.
Right.
Okay, and that is where the issue of sensitivity should come in, especially when it comes to the man. If God gave you the mandate to be the provider in a home, it doesn't mean that the woman is not going to chip in. They are going to chip in. But if the woman becomes the head of the home, or if the woman becomes the man, the woe unto you. That family is headed for destruction, because this woman will assume this role. He will be okay. She will be okay the first year, the second year, and the third year. Most of these men are actually very insensitive. He will say, you know, let me stay home, and then the woman will pay school fees. The woman will take the children to clothe the children, give them medical care, give them what to eat, and even the man will say, give me airtime. And guess what? Such a man that is insensitive, when given airtime, they will call to actually vibe other women. They will never have anything sensible in their heads to actually contribute to the family. Because by the time you ask for airtime, you ask to be bought undies. And then after that, you will ask that, you know, I have dates. And then you will start being manipulative. You come home with silent treatment because the woman has not paid your debts. But the woman is actually housing you and housing your children and doing everything. So you have to be very, very sensitive. I'm not saying it does not apply to the women. It applies because when a woman decides to be insensitive, my goodness, that tilts to the extreme. But again, for a man, I feel so sorry for every man that is totally insensitive and oblivious about what the future holds, and yet they are the head of the family and they want to be the heads.
For me, when I'm wedding couples, I always tell them to have a shared vision for money. When you're beginning the year, you must know where you are heading to. You see, a word father, a husband, a word father is from a Hebrew word that means source and sustainer of a home. So, and even the Bible, when St. Paul is writing to the Colossians, he calls a man a small lord, Mukama. Katonda Katondo. So the man is given a lot on his shoulders. The problem we have now with women today, most of the women that we have, they grew up in homes where the men were the sole providers of the basic needs of the family. Most of the women that we have, that's why they complain when a man leaves the entire responsibilities to them. In some other places it works, can be 50-50
In the Western
yeah
culture,
if you are both working. But women here, they are not yet used to that, because all of them grew up seeing their fathers bring everything at home. Even me, in my home, in my family, our dad was the sole provider. But today I always encourage husband and wife to sit together. I always bring in the issue of our money notion. Our money notion, as that you must have, minimally you must have 3 accounts in a home. You must have a personal account as a husband, a personal account as a wife. Then you must have also a family account. So the entire issue of money, if both of you are working, you must sit together and see how you are moving forward. If both of you are working, you must divide. You must divide. Say, as a wife, you will handle this and that. Me, I will handle this and that. Then you can be able to move on. But many times these men have been they are now in many abusive relationships. Some of these men are suffering inside there, especially if you were once working and now you are not working. Because everyone knows that you are the daddy. The word daddy is a sweet word for provider. One time I was somewhere and I said, tata. Because for us to grow up knowing that if you have no pen, your dad. You talk to your mom, then your mom says, I'm going to talk to you. But now the generation has changed. We need the husband and wife to get involved in the daily running of your home. You must have a shared vision. You must have financial goals you set when you are beginning the year, and you analyze, because in the end it's all about you. From one of the things I've met that's very difficult is begging. You see, begging belittles you. Begging belittles you. Tugeze bwobanga oli mu family, munzikiriza njogere ku Luganda, bwobanga oli mu family tugeze ng'omusajja naye ng'oli ng'omutabani wawo omukulu nga nawe olina kusaba busabi ng'abaana bwe basaba mpa ekitabo, you can never have any peace. So in the end, begging, people can contribute for you the first time when you're going for an operation in Nairobi, even the second time. The third time, it is impossible. For me, I demolished the church in Impeji. People came and promised us money. Till now, some are honorables. They have not even paid the money. So I've been telling people, if they refuse to give the money to a priest, what about you, a person? So I encourage everyone to work for themselves, work for your families. If you have a wife, if you have a husband, whether it is you who married the wife or the wife marrying you, as long as you are together inside there, for us we say it's a union. You must, it is incumbent on you to sit down, see how much is coming in and how you are moving forward with your money issues.
There's an artist, a popular artist in this country who sang a song, Ngatoina Sente, Obera Obotyotyo. Now,
even in a meeting, you appear like a spy.
I know.
You're poking. Actually, even in the family. Exactly. But mumaka walingo muntu omu yalina sente. Bonna batandika kuloga gwe. Batandika okunoonyereza. What happened to us? They didn't know. The other one is the one who took off all your blessings. So this money is a very important. Unfortunately, people don't know. You see, money does not have legs. So money comes, you see, I compare normally money with a woman. They have never married. But but I compare money to women.
Yes.
Before you go and pick someone's girl from their home, you must prove to the father and the mother that will manage to look after her.
Yes.
So you go with the introduction. She introduces you to the husband. Ugenda ne bakwanjula ye waka.
Correct.
Kane sente bwe ziba bwe zityo. When money tests, that's why I tell people that when money, I met a man who told me, Father, I don't sleep because I fear to go back to where I was 20 years ago. We're too poor. So, sente bwe zitandika okujja gy'oli n'ozifuna ku Friday, ku Saturday n'otaddaka, ku Sunday n'otaddaka, yonna week n'obeera mu binyumo n'onywa emyenge n'okola ki. So money now, if you cannot manage the money that is coming in now, money manages you. N'etandika okukwewa mu quantities z'onaagisobola. So kasobeera ng'opaluka. That's why there are so many people who have worked so hard for years and they are not wealthy. Tewali musajja mugagga munafu mpozi nga mubbi.
Ate ayongera kukyalina.
Bano bonna sente zimala kusiima. Actually sente bakwanankwane ng'oyita mu bikolwa byo. Sente bwe zikulaba nti ozisobola. Bw'oziraga direction nti when you come, you go here. Money comes. But if money comes to you at first and it discovers that you can't manage it, however much you work hard, however much you don't sleep, however much you go to America, to UK for greener pastures, greener pastures will never become greener. You will never have that money.
I hear you. Now, before we continue, I want to tell the people that are online that it is approximately 4 p.m. Just want to tell you that if the flowers have not yet come,
Why do you inflict pain on
the
people?
odds are really going against you. Now, going back to what Reverend Father said about shared vision, Hilda, we have a thing about, those, what do they call them? Those conservative men who don't believe in showing their things. The man brings home alingo mufusa. He just shows up someday, he has money.
Yeah.
Then he goes away, then comes back, you guys have a house. And the woman just
Never
says,
tells you
Kasta he provides.
Mm.
That kind of thing. What do you have to say about people who live like that?
The thing is, we are brought up differently from different places, and there are some women that lack confidence, they have no self-worth, and they're also not hard workers themselves, and they're on the receiving end. So such a woman will wait for anything that is going to fall into her laps. And then she will say, Kasta the man brings. She will not even question. But again, there are some of us that are really hardworking that say that, you know what, if you can get this, plus what I have, we can do something bigger. So bring yours to the table. I bring mine to the table. And I like that. I usually use what the Reverend Father said, where you have your own money and he has his own money and you have a joint. Because then maybe I need to blow off, some money. Sometimes you need to be kind to yourself and treat yourself. So you need to have your own money. So when it comes to such scenarios, I think it comes from the background, how we were brought up, and then our relationship with money.
Because in the end, then we don't have, because we talked about shared vision. Then
Yes,
there is
there is no shared vision. That means there is only a dictator in a house who is a tyrant, who is thinking things must go the way I want. So if he wants a sitting room that is as small as a toilet, he will construct a small room, and that's what you have to get into. And I think these come even from the conception of the relationship. There are some people that, by the way, and this does not mean that this woman didn't go to school. It's possible she's a PhD holder, but she's a yes person. Everything she was told, the man is the alpha and the omega, and you never say anything to a man, and you just see things happening. Go there, produce your children, and run your home. And some people have been given such, and they have gone with it, they are content. But again, there are certain women in this generation that are not content with that. They're like, you know what, let's plan together, let's hold hands, let's pray together, let's believe, let's work harder, let's advance together, and let's have a shared vision. So you must know the kind of woman. There are some instances where a marriage has broken, and it's because the man is a traditional man, so he expected to have a traditional woman that says yes to everything. And now he has this woman that is exposed, has a temperament that is maybe sanguine-like and quite outgoing, and then she understands the value of money, and she has a good relationship with money. And so if you expect her to be yes, maybe because she wants marriage, she will say yes the first year and the second year. And then all of a sudden she will flip. And then you'll be like, but you were a different person when I got married to you, and now you're a different person. Why? Because she wanted to get married. Because
Yeah.
people have been told that marriage is the epitome of everything. And marriage is beautiful. God created it beautiful. But it has to have a good agenda. And you have to get into it the right way. Not because you are changing colors to be accepted. And then when you get in there, change colors. So different people get in for different reasons. And then they say yes for different reasons. And then there's a woman who is traditional and has a man that is quite liberal. So while the man is pulling her to the table to talk about the money, the woman is saying, chogamba chechi kola.
Right.
Because that's what she has been told. She's traditional. The man is liberal. So
Yeah.
the man, and I've gotten so many of them into my sessions, and the man says, omukazi amenya.
Right.
And the woman is saying, but nkola byo yagala. Kiki ekirala kye mba nkola. And you know, the man is like, no, as in chamuka muko, get excited, let's work together, let's share these things, let's move together. But the woman knows a totally different lifestyle. So ndowooza abasooka abatukuza bye tukuliddemu, our temperaments, there's a lot of contributing factors, and then the culture and what we've been told surrounding marriage. You know, people have been preached to different things. You know, in order to sustain a marriage, you must become stupid. In order to sustain a marriage, as a woman, you must not have enough money. You know, if you have more money than, I know people that have not bought cars because tewali agenda bakwana. Yes, if I have a car and I drive a car to a date, and the man will hate me. And so that means you have wrong beliefs about money, and believe me, that money is going to disappear. It's going to go. Why? Because you want to be less of yourself so that you can make someone higher.
Right,
And that is how we create dictators. Because then you have to lessen yourself in order to make them the super people. So I think it goes back to understanding our worth, our self-worth, and then to understand that there is a table and we must both bring value to this table and have, you know, a shared experience, just like he says, shared money values and shared experiences, so that we can be able to hold hands in hands and disappear into the sunset, you know, and be called a power couple or, you know, look
Right.
nice. But until that, then I don't think that can happen.
For me, I want to say something about that. Like I said, the entire problem is just the generation. Okay, my dad was a medical doctor. He could come back on Friday, then he could bring everything, then we could do the shopping on Friday evening, we could go to the shops around, then buy everything, so we could wait for him. Then when we were going back to school, we could write down everything, then they could go and pack boxes. They could pack boxes for each one. Is the one who could come for our VD, you know. So this issue of you see, I've been telling people that secrecy is an enemy to intimacy. You know, secrecy is an enemy to intimacy. This boat cruise, you know, boat cruise.
Yes.
People died, and many women didn't know what's happening with the finances of those people. Not only that, but many people die through accidents here.
Yes.
So that time I was reading about the major killers of marriages globally, statistically, and the first one was lack of communication. Lack of communication was the major killer. Then nenkaza mu luganda okukuta. These days, women, they have side businesses, side investments. You see woman sleeping, then all of a sudden they wake up like this. Say, babe, what's the problem? Nothing. Kumbe, no cement at the side. No cement at the side. So each one, buli muntu yenna bali mu kukuta bukukusi. So now for me, I've been encouraging young people, don't marry. You see, now these days we have changed the definition of marriage material. Marriage material is not a figure, because what even if you get a man having muscles everywhere, even in the head, are you going to eat muscles in a local down? All getting a very, very brown lady that even if power goes off, you can see her. What is the brightness gonna help you? I've been encouraging people to marry brains. Marry or get married to someone who adds value to you. So how can you be a wife inside the house and you don't know the job that your husband does?
Right.
Of course, many families don't know how much my husband gets. And when you ask him, that's the beginning of a fight. They don't want to understand. But I want to encourage each one watching us, all our audience. You must know that you can die anytime.
Yes.
You see that thing of the issue of you and your money, it begins from the individual, it goes to businesses, it goes to institutions, it goes to marriage as well. You and your money. Actually, if you have grown-ups in your home, there must not be any secrets. They must know. If you have HIV as their dad, let them know. If you have high blood pressure, let them know. If you have debts in any bank, they must know. So there must be some transparency regarding money in the case of anything. People die in accidents. People die in water. So even as women, if you see there are some women who have not been very supportive. Ogwo omulembe gugenze ogw'abakazi abajjanga mu maka ng'atunuulidde mwami ne kyaleeta nga tobuuza ne kyakijje bw'abanga mubbi bw'abanga ssente azijje wa mukazi mulala nga y'abaliisa. We must be sharp enough, and you as a couple obanga olina omuntu gw'obeera naye kibakakatako to see how you're proceeding. Bino ebyokubanga okukutabukusi even when you have a company. You see, recently I was in the UK 3 months ago, and I went in a funeral home that was in existence since 1886. But here, you check the businesses. People have died with their businesses. They died this year. Within 3 years, the business is no more. The company is no more. So we do not have yet companies and businesses that can outlive their starters because of secrets. People abantu bakukuta n'ebintu byabwe yenanyini business naye nga n'omukazi tagimanyi bwe running. Then when you die, everything dies. So bw'oba osazeewo okuwasa omuntu n'obeera naye omanyi obwereere bwe omanyi buli kimu kyonna mwezaddemu abaana. What else are you hiding? When you die today, there are so many people who are rich now, they are wealthy, and when they die today, some of their children are going to live in misery. Tubadde eno gye baziika abafu n'osanga baprofesa n'osanga badokita abasajja abaali abagagga naye nga bw'okebera abaana abaliwo bagenda kufa mu bwavu. Buli muntu yenna ng'olina ssente ogw'omukisa Mukama agukuwadde ne mukazi wo, talk to her and see how you can multiply that money, that even tomorrow when you die, if the money can outlive you. For me, those people who die with their who die with their wealth, I call them generational failures. All men and women who are too stingy, who are very selfish, that even you cannot tell your wife how much you are earning, how much. And your family ebe naatera nti omuntu omu abadde alina ssente bw'afiira, you begin panting.
Thank you very much. Now, the people who are just joining us online and everyone who's there, we are here having a conversation about your relationship with money. Yes, so many of you, money is defining you. Money, I mean, every time they give you a job, you're like, money, for you, money is all over your conversation. So that's what we're having today. If you have a question, please leave it in the log. We shall get back to you and talk more about all those things. Now, from what you have been explaining, I've gotten to understand that our relationship with money seems to evolve from age to status to relationships you have, because your relationship with money when you're married is different when you're single. It's what I'm getting to feel now. So I want people to understand that, so they don't be on pressure of why should I have this mindset when I'm not in this situation. You know, to validate the conversation. Is really our relationship with money about a number of array of things?
Definitely, there are different concepts where money is applied. Okay, so in the concept, just like you said, when you're single, and I think I usually tell this to the ladies, when the ladies look at a man and they're like, oh, I want a man who has a Benz, who has built in Kololo, who has done what. Half the time, when the man makes his money, he's not thinking about those things.
Yeah.
Actually, most of the men desire a woman who will come into their lives and organize them in order to achieve some of those things. But remember, these are not so many women. So while he has this, he will buy a car, something luxurious to get him from one place to another. He'll maybe keep his money somewhere. They'll tell him of an investment, and he will not, it will just be aimless. he's not thinking about, because until you have children, you can never know the importance of having insurance. You can never know the importance of even saving like money, because when you see that a term has begun and a child has signed into school with 4 millions, that is when you're like, okay, there is another term, and then there is another term,
4 million.
and then they are growing. And if kindergarten is this expensive, what's
Yes.
going to happen in the years to come? So that's when you tighten your belt and you're like, you know what, now we have started the roller
to
coaster.
Simbude.
Yes, to Simbude. So you realize that in singlehood, you are really having the fun of your life. Have the time. But remember, in singlehood still, most people are even playing hide and seek with money. So whatever comes into the trap, you have fun, and then you wait for the next thing to happen. But once you get into marriage, then the application also
Yes.
differs, because then here you were used to, I can eat your commando, now you have to have food, there is kameza, I have to leave money at home, and all of a sudden you maybe get married to a man who thinks, okay, I must have dogs at home, and then I must stay in this kind of house, and all that kind of, so that means you have to sit down and say, okay, on a monthly, how much do we use? Do we buy food in bulk? Do we buy every day? How do we spend? So you see, the application differs from the different dynamics. When it's just the two of you in the house, you've just gotten married, that is different. When the children come in, my friend, they become the masters. They are the owners, like they run the home, because it's up to what they want. When they get sick, when they, everything now starts rotating. But remember, there's a time, a midlife crisis that is going to hit, where you're thinking about wealth creation. Now, here in Africa, people think about wealth creation much later. They don't think about it when they are youth. Otherwise, if we have these, and I'm so glad that NSSF is having these financial literacy conversations, because you're supposed to think about your future right now, before you even marry, even in a relationship. Think about your future. Think about wealth creation. Think about your pension. Think about everything, retirement, starting now. But now, people get to 40 and 50, between 40 and 50, and then that's when they start, I must build, I must buy land, and then that is when they tell the women or the people at home, mugenda kulya ebinyebwa. Budget
Yes.
tugenda zisala, and then before you know it, like it's one directional, because now it's late, and now you're trying to do everything to make sure that you secure a future that you never created, and then you're thinking, okay, amanyi ganzigwamu, what's going to become of me when I get to 50? Okay,
Yes.
and then few people actually think about those things. There are people that get into 50 nga bali mu kidulacho. I think you've seen them. Nga party after party.
Yes.
Even the woman does not know where the man is. Comes back in the morning. Oh, the woman leaves the children at home and goes chidulacho. I've seen so many of them.
Yeah.
So they're not even thinking about financial implication. They're not thinking about setting up securities, and they're not thinking about setting up assets to be able to safeguard their future. So these conversations are so crucial, because the application comes, and then when you get to the ailments,
Yes.
you get to your 30s or 40s. Remember, in this generation, we take care of our parents.
Yeah.
Apart from our generation, where our children, it's going to be very hard for them to take care of us, because most of the time we have brought them in a very simple life, and a simple life creates a hard life.
Yeah.
But our hard life created a simple life, because we wanted so much to get out of a hard life. Okay,
hear you.
so right now you get to 35, and now you have to take care of your mother who is sick,
Yeah.
and their sicknesses are very expensive.
Correct.
Diabetes, and then magumba, atesimanyi nerves zibadde chi, and then you have to be in ICU, you have to be buy crutches, buy what, and while you're struggling to set up assets, while you're struggling, your children must go to school.
Yeah.
So instead of waiting for us for things to ambush us at the same time,
Yes.
why not start early?
Grow your maturity, your mature relationship with money as early as possible. So, but it feels like to get married is a good way to grow your money relationship maturity.
Yes. Now, you see, recently I went and prayed for a man who had died in Mukono. For us Catholics, when you die and you are to be buried in another parish, they have to bring you come with a letter from the parish priest indicating that you died Catholic. So they gave me the letter, and I led the mass. But now after mass, the children come and give their speech. So this girl now is born again. Then you see the born agains, you can easily see them, the way they begin and whatever, And then after, she said that I thank Jesus because by the time my dad died, he had said yes to Jesus.
After the letter.
Yes, after the letter, no, even the mass was done. I felt so bad, but now I had the letter. But now I came to find out that this is the man who was 62, and he no longer had money. Now this girl had become born again, but she was Catholic before, so all her siblings were still Catholic. No, most of them, but about 12 of them had become born again. Now, because they were the ones with the money, they had to force their dad to go to the kanisa.
Where they go?
Taata tugende eri bw'oba oyagala tukwongere sente ez'okujjanjaba.
Yes.
Kati apo nno bamutwala mu kanisa, omwana ayinza n'okutwala mu ssabo if you don't have. So whether you are single or married, we need to know how to handle money. That said, whether you are single, the earlier the better. Actually, to give back at yourself, to go for an outing, to enjoy some of your money, it is okay.
Yes.
It's part of the rules of managing money. You must make your cup full. Kubanga ebizibu bya Uganda tebigwawo, jajjaawo, sengaawo, these extended families, they are too broad, too diverse. Me, I'm a priest there in Impigi. Abaana basinga beetaaga obuyambi, kusomesebwa, batwala amasomero, so batunulira you cannot solve all the problems. You see, there is a lady I listen to, she's called Oprah Winfrey. She's a successful business lady in the US. I've listened to most of her motivational speeches. And she says that when you are born, your job is one, to become the grandest, the maximum version of you. So you must discover, you must do some kind of self-discovery as early. Abantu bagamba obulamu bwensi bulinga layini y'emmere. Si buli ekiri ku layini nti okirya. Osalawo by'oyagala. Buli muntu yenna olina okuba ng'omanya amakubo g'onaayitamu okaddiwa obulungi. Nkati ngono omwana yayatuza kitaawe because she doesn't have money. Though you are taking your kids to school, you have no guarantee that by the time you are out of work, by the time you are laid off, that they will come to your rescue. They're also still maneuvering, looking for their partners, looking for husbands. They're still trying out. But in ebizibu. So, buli muntu yenna the earlier. For me, I have a belief that by the time you die, God has given enough avenues, enough chances to make sure that by the time you die, you have some money. So, mbasaba, buli muntu yenna kutandika buto, beginning with your job, at least save 20% of your gross salary income. Buli muntu yenna, there is nothing very disturbing than having a head that is full of 14 billion cells. I was telling people that having a very big head like a pumpkin and it is empty, it is even better for someone who has a smaller one like that of a mango when there is something inside there. In both laws, when you go into the constitution and even the laws of the church, I'm a Catholic, ignorance cannot save you. No. You must know what you are doing, like she was saying, to teach people. It is something good. People don't know what to do. When they get money, they buy all the cars. You find someone having 5 cars for what? Then you find someone at 35, and they are building, they are constructing their dream house. Then I ask them, how can you construct a dream house at 40? Dream houses come at 60. But at 30, 35, you must be having a house that can inhabit you. When you are 40, 30, 40, bandi badde abantu bavuga motoka za VTZ, Primo, zimunywa mpola. When you find anyone at 40 and below, balina motoka za million kikumi manyi omutwe mukalu. Because at 40, you have a car of 100 million. Yes. Even you have no guarantee. How are you going to survive the next 60 years? Banabana bozadde, are you sure nti banaakuyamba? So someone who is driving a primo ng'enywa mpola nga ku account alinayo bukadaaga is better obanga alina amataka gaguze obanga alina investment is better than someone who is driving a car worth 200 million when the accounts are empty. So each one you must see, you see, we are born with all the magic in us to be whatever we have to be. Yeah. Problem where we have funny goals. I've been reminding people, each of us, we have 24 hours per day. You have 1,440 minutes and you have 86,400 seconds. It's all about you. When you age with nothing, it's all about you. All excuses turn to regrets later. Each one you must have enough understanding on how you handle money, whether you are single, whether you are married. Even when you are married, they're better for you. You are now two. Two heads are better than one. Wandigenza ogenda maaso nga mulinawo akantu problem eriwo, we are selfish, we are ignorant, bantu bafudde mu byalo naye ekyalo tekibagwangamu. Babawadde ssente, bw'ofunye emisaala mirungi nnyo, kwepankapanka na kwereegaleega, kugula mmotoka zonna ezigulika, noso omuntu nga there are so many people have died because of money. They have died because of ignorance. It is important you understand how you manage your money and how you are driving into the future. This year is here. Today you are earning millions of money, but tomorrow you could be laid off. Tomorrow you can get anything can happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Mr. Headmaster, when I see you on the pulpit.
Yes. Thank you so much, Uncle you didn't use the correct words. Sir Headmaster.
Sir Headmaster, sir.
Thank you so much, Uncle Mo. And I've been staring here quite for a while, and I haven't lost my thoughts, because what is the wisdom? I don't think you have gotten to your second question. I have realized you have only asked one question, and the good gentleman and the lady are really doing us justice. Thank you so much, Father Chibi. Thank you so much, Hilda, for whatever you are sharing with us. I wanted to just give you a brief of what is happening on the other media, and maybe also get you ready to bring in some of these questions. Many people at the beginning, people thought we're just money. The word that was used, you are monetizing everything, and I want to tell that person, no, we are not monetizing it. Money is actually not important, but it's important to the important things in life. We do not worship money, and I encourage you not to worship money. I encourage you to actually master money, because if you allow it to master you, then you have no room to serve anything else. It's one of the worst masters. So what we are doing here is getting you to understand that money is not important, but it's important to the important things in life, and you need to master it. It's a tool that has come out quite evidently. It's a tool. Ladies and gentlemen, money is a tool. Send it to do those things that you want to be done. Money is a tool. There are quite a number of just Hilda to note that quite a number of people are saying, that's my coach, that's my coach. I have seen quite a number of people you are coaching, that's my life coach. They are all sharing their greetings with you. There are quite a number of people also saying, why did we take long to bring Father? And I need to tell you that he's not an easy man to catch. But we are grateful that he spared some of this time. Uncle Mo, there's quite a number of questions, and you need to pick some of these things and share our esteemed panel needs to pick some of these things. But before I go away, I needed to just bring up to the landscape one last thing before I leave this podium. Money is there's definitely a relationship with money, but there is also a season. Each season has something around money, and I wanted to just share with you this before I leave. There is a season when there's a season of getting money. Now, getting money is a lifelong process. You're looking for a relationship. There is a get when you need to get money. This is the wealth cycle, and everyone goes through this cycle, but depends which direction. Some of them go the other way, and I will demonstrate that. There is a season of keeping, or there is a time to keep money. You get money, you need to keep money. Some of us, as has been described, the relationship is where you get money and money goes away. You are just a conduit, you are just a broker of money, you are just receiving it on behalf of the others, and you never have any of it in your pocket. You are running a risky life, in the words of Father Chibi. You need to grow money. It is a sin if money stays with you and never grows. Money needs to grow. If you have money, and I always refer to an example of one old woman who kept her money quite intent, quite carefully, and she kept 50,000, up over 50 million or 50,000, and she never even got a chance to exchange it when the 50,000 notes were being retired. So she had 50 million or 50,000 of the old notes, and they are now worth about 20,000. So growing money needs to be, it's when you grow money, and referring to Father Chibi, a failed generation. If you fail to sustain, if money fails to outlive you, you have failed your entire generation. So sustain it. Get into the relationship of sustaining money. If you have gotten into one of getting money, keeping it, growing it, then learn how to sustain it. The most interesting one, and the one I like most, is the one where you need to eat money. How are you eating your money? Now, I told you everyone goes through this cycle. And there is a huge number of people whose cycle is when they get money, they jump right to eating money. They skip all these other things. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, to use Father Chibi's words, you a failed generation. Uncle Mo.
Yes.
Sir Headmaster. Uncle Mo.
Sir Headmaster, sir.
Please take.
Very much, Sir Headmaster, sir. Now, to carry on and moments of bringing this conversation home, I want to first start with the first thing. I had Hilda mentioning it, that it is important for you to do a financial health check. You know, just like how people go, like, I mean, the serious people who check the health
Yes.
checks every year, it is important, I think, for people to have times to understand where they stand. Like I talked
Yes.
about earlier, you might be poor, but you don't even know how
Yes.
poor. So how can someone get help for a financial health check?
Okay. Now, just I think it's the Luganda Lugero that says amagezi muliro. Boba togalina, you know, you get it from another person.
Right.
Okay. So we have people in our community, people that are dedicated to help,
Yes.
and could be someone that you really admire, someone that has done well for themselves, financially and wealth creation, and you're like, okay, I want a few tips from this person. What did they do at my age? What were they doing that I am not doing that has gotten them ahead of the game and ahead of everyone else? And these days we have financial literacy coaches. We have people that are not just about money making, because you have to be very careful from home. Newankubadde amagezi muliro bwe togalina ugajja wamulala. But again, tosobola genda watagulina n'omugamba agumpe. So there are so many people that have also come up in the name of wanting to help, but when they don't have the solid structures of actually helping. Now you see how you have the wealth cycle, and someone looks at it, and then you're like, you know what? I've been getting my money and not keeping it, not growing it, not sustaining it, but eating it. So now I have three things to figure out. Now you go back and reflect, what have I been doing wrong that now I must be able to rectify? And you know, these days we have a chance. You can self-teach. You know, just like the Reverend had been saying, you will watch so many people. That the thing is, some of us choose the most important people to watch, that even on my feed, you don't just appear on my feed.
Right.
I have to choose you to appear on my feed, because I know that everything else is wastage of my time. So what if I see you and you're putting on smanny glamorous clothes and you're a slay queen with what, and then I'm doing that does not benefit me. I need information. I need to take in something that I can apply somewhere and it can be able to help me. So there's a lot of material content out there that is actually very good on such on such instances and financial literacy kind of platforms. This is a lot. Do you know that just by this, someone can be able to pick a thing and be able
Yes.
to apply it in their own lives? So I'm thinking there is a lot we can learn from other people that have been there, done that. And by the way, even if you see a poor person, as in, you can be able to say, you know what, I don't want to go back to that. If I have to work extra. So let's reflect about what has happened. Let's pick the lessons, because part of the emotions that keep us in the rat race when it comes to making money is the emotion of regret. We look back and we regret, and we point fingers at other people. My mother did not give me a good beginning. My father did not. No, all of us, our parents, some of our parents did not give us good beginnings. But we knew we had to begin somewhere, and we didn't create the excuses, because excuse and success cannot dwell in the same sentence. So you choose what you want. So I mean, self-teach, go ask for the knowledge, pay if you must pay to get the knowledge, but make sure that you seek for the knowledge.
You see, someone said that an unexamined life is insane life.
Yeah.
Another one said, an unexamined life, that one was a philosopher, an unexamined life is not worth living. You see, for me, I've been having a slogan. For me, I learned from the best to become the best. When I was at Gaba, I read about the wealthy. Above nga sina kyempeetaaza ate njagala kuva mu bwavu ate nsome ku baavu. Even these life coaches, there must be people who have earned. When you go to the US, to invite you to come and speak to these young people who are going out, are they called graduates?
Graduates.
Yes, to speak to them. Baba ita bate babajja, kale, you come and
Keynote speech. The keynote speakers at the
yes, keynote speakers. You must have achieved. So first of all, someone to give you knowledge about money, these must be people who have achieved, not people who have too many words. People have too many words and they have nothing.
They have not applied. So
Yeah, they have
don't-
not applied. And someone comes and motivates you, tells you everything is possible. You see him jumping on a border. The way he
Till
speaks
next
is
time.
the way he speaks and lectures, it's as if he came in a very, very nice car. You see the guy moving on foot to go back home. So you need to get someone. Then, secondly, for me, I've been getting, some people have been asking, you are not married. Where do you get the authority to go to ask the married people?
Yes.
And then I tell them, for me, I've been getting knowledge through three ways. One, through reflection. When I read about most successful people, they wake up between 4:30 and 5:30. You see, between 4:30 and 5:30.
Yes.
It's only here in Uganda you find people who sleep as if they are competing with the dead. They sleep at 8, wake up at 10. But these rich people, they wake up between 4:30 and 5:30. And one of the things they do to start off their day is reflection, meditation. So sometimes before I switch off, switch on the lights after prayer, I sit down and do some reflections. Secondly, I learn through imitation. I learn from other people. So I encourage everyone. Go online. You people have big phones. Go on those podcasts there. Go online. Actually, internet, that is the best classroom. For me, I've made my car a mobile conference hall. I go listening to better preachers than me. I listen to them. So imitate people, learn from people. Go on internet, go on YouTube, go on Google, go and learn. Yes. People have internet. People have these big smartphones. Some even are very expensive. But what do you use them for? All the best coaches are there. The most successful people are there. You can get access to courses that conferences that people have paid huge sums of money to Gandhi. Listen, and they're just free of charge there because of your data. Yeah. Then lastly, learn from experience. Someone said that when life when life beats you down, yes, try to land on your back and look up, because if you can look up, you can get up. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from the mistakes and errors that you make. But I want to encourage each and everyone. Yes. You need these coaches. Here in Uganda, we are having fewer marriage professional counselors. We have fewer professional counselors in many of the fields. But we're having some who are coming up, like Hilda. So let us use them. And when you go there, learn. Then for some of us, we need professional people like these like the Cristiano Ronaldos, all those premiership stars, La Liga stars, bonaba abazanyi b'omupiira b'amaanyi. Buli muntu yenna balinako abantu ababa planingira sente zaabwe kye zikola. Bw'olaba nga tosobola, funa omuntu akuyamba w'amazima. So kikkakatako buli muntu yenna okusoma n'oyiga. Nze kankubuulire, amaanyi g'ensi, Mukama yatonda ensi n'ateekamu amaanyi. When the power of the universe discovers that you are messing up with any treasure, any blessing, the blessing will be taken away from you. Yes. Those of you who have no agenda, life will give you an agenda. If you have no program, life will program you. If you cannot sit down and use the experience, if you can see these people who even never went to school, they are P4 graduates, P7 graduates, they have money in Kampala. What of you have masters and PhDs? Why did you even go to school? When you go to school, all those papers, success, academic success is not just about a pile of papers, but from Makerere, from the primary, secondary Makerere, mumutwegbo, toina mazima. magezi gasobola kutuula wansi n'ogamba now money is coming, I'm still young, toyina guarantee that tomorrow inaaba ozirina, n'otuula n'olaba how you can really sit down and plan. If you have no plan, life will forcefully give you a plan. And I want to warn each one of you. Me, I've been to hospitals. When we go to hospitals, you find people w'otuuka eri mu ddwaliro tebalamuza. It is like a hotel or a supermarket. Toyinza gamba munsalireko pe, it's all a bill. So sente bwe zikuvaako ku myaka ana tozirinda kudda. We are men on the queue. When you get a chance, those of you abasobodde okubeera n'abazadde ab'amaanyi baba placinze bino ebyokuwasa abakazi emisana n'ekiro n'owasanga atategeera bino ebyogera ng'ozaalamu buli azaalikamu. You buy every car that you want. My dear, I want to assure you, make sure you get knowledge from wherever you can get it on how to manage your money.
Reverend Father Deogratias Chibi Katerega. Now, there's something I want to bring to you, Reverend Father. You know, these financial literacy conversations, I mean, rich as they are, by the time they reach so many of us, so many people are like, yeah, what they're saying is valid. So many people online are saying, someone is drowning in debt, someone, people are without hope financially. For this conversation to be valid to them, anywhere they are or in a stage they are in their financial life or their wealth creation journey. I mean, how can you validate and give hope in such a situation?
Start from where you are, use what you have, do what you can. But to give hope, normally waliwo omuntu olaba omuntu ajja naga nsabiraako naye n'olaba oba kyasaba n'emyaka gye kikyasoboka, n'olaba nti esaala nja kugisoma ezimu ŋŋamba tukyuseemu tusabe bwe tuti. So the rest of us, I want to give you hope that always any opportunity that comes to you, use it and learn. Many times God passes through us to talk to us, to see that we learn from our mistakes. Yes. The hope I give each one of you out there is that try to see. You see, when we're talking about money, people think that we are talking about those who are earning salaries, people who have a lot of money in their bank accounts. Kama kati abantu abamu abatalina ssente bejjamu nti ati bagamba ffe. Naye buli omu, wherever you are, whether you are in the village, whether you are in town, whether you yet have a job or not, just learn. Money has no legs. Money is invisible. It comes to those people who are already rich in the heart. There's something I've discovered in these families. When you go there, you find there are about 10 people, but only 3 are wealthy. Then you come to know that money goes on looking. In every generation, God is looking for people to give money. But it must first of all be in you. To get some, we only get what we see in us. Kati mufune emikwano egibeetoolodde nga gibayamba. Abantu abamu emyaka gye baliko yakuswala buswazi, tebakyawuliriza. Naye bw'oba ofunye chance okusoma, ojja kuyambibwa. Buli muntu yenna weeteekengamu essuubi. Mbadde ngamba abantu, become your own booster. Become your own inspiration. Sometimes talk to yourself. Give a sermon to yourself that, why should I stay late? Midnight. I'm drinking with people. Why should I stay late? Sometimes you have to talk to yourself. Odemu wewe subi. No sinzira kubeba kugambye, then you move on. But Hilda can say something about that.
Definitely the learning curve, Tekoma. You can begin, and it's never too late. Yeah. You can begin now and create a brand new ending. Nfunya abantu nga ba myaka 5 najja nakugamba nti omanyi ndudde in the curve of career nayenga I am stunted. I've plateaued somewhere, and I want to make a different decision, and this has not been my purpose, this has not been my passion, but then just the end game kufuna sente. But you realize nga bwokula oyagala ugasi. nga bwokola sente naye nga n'okugasa ogasa. So this person wanted to you know to flip and you know try something else. Definitely we went through the options, and all of a sudden she landed onto something that she really loves. She wakes up every day energetic and you know willing to do it, and she's making money, and she's made more money than all the 50 years that all the other 30 years that she had been making. That means it's never too late. And these days 60 is the new 40. Have you seen people at 50 how they look like? Like
Yep.
they look very young. Someone at 60, they look like they're 40. And one of the pillars, I'm actually writing a book about money, and some of the pillars that I'm basing, it's just about my personal story and my personal struggles and where I've come from. But one of them is the life pillar, the fitness pillar. The reason as to why the 60 can be the new 40 is because someone is working on their lives. They go to gym or they do the simple exercises. They are healthy, because what use is money if you have no life? So that means you have to be. What's use is your environment. For example, relationships, like Reverend Father has been saying. Relationships. If the relationships around you are not supportive of your wealth creation and your journey, that means they are sucking life out of you and zapping energy out of you. That means you need to plant yourself in environments that are really nurturing you to be able to take an extra mile and, you know, go an extra mile. So there's so many things that are surrounding money, but you can start right now. Work. You can be able to work and figure out something that you love and you're passionate about. Because something that is passion driven, I mean, you of all people should know, passion driven kind of work, you know, it will energize you. Even when you're sick, you'll wake up and work because you love what you are doing. It's not just appearing before a boss and signing in and saying, you know what, I appeared to work, or you just come and do something that, you know, you're just doing a job. So there's so many pillars that we can talk about that surround money, but knowledge is very, very crucial. The moment you find knowledge, you get a hold of that knowledge, and the moment you have a positive attitude to know that it's never too late, I can start right now, and I can view everything in a very positive regard, because it's like a filter. When you see doom and gloom, it's doom and gloom. But if you see positivity, it's like a paintbrush. You're painting bright colors. You're saying, you know what, I will get it, because that motivation and that positivity will drive you to even create more streams of income. You'll be like, okay, what can I do? I can actually do affiliate marketing. What can I do? I don't have to use my own money. I can use other people's money to actually make money. I can deliver goods at foot. I can do an online business. What do I do between 8 and 5? And then what do I do between 5 and midnight? I can be able to extend my working hours while I'm still energetic, so that I can cover up for the years that I'm never going to be energetic. So the ball is in our hands.
And there is something she has mentioned that I believe in. When I read about these billionaires, I discovered that 75% of the billionaires globally, they get money from their hobbies. They do what they love. They do something that will make you wake up very early in the morning and go to do it. One time they did some statistics in the US, and they found that many people were getting heart attacks between 7 and 8 in the morning. And they discovered why. Because some of them were in abusive relationships, and they were going to work. They were going to jobs that they don't like. Here in Uganda, many people are in offices. They are doing jobs they don't like. You can just see from senior one, no, from primary 1 to P7, you don't know what you will be. Then from senior 4, you are waiting for the results to pick the subjects that you pass, then to form a combination.
Yeah.
Then after senior 6, in the case you have failed, then you go back at senior 5, you offer nursing. Then you go into nursing. So here, people do not know what they want, and you find someone who has certificate in nursing, they're doing business. So I've been in some of these institutions. You find offices, people who are supposed to be retiring, they are dying in those offices. Bantu basajja bakulu bakadde balina kubanga balika, but they are not. Now they have been working, they have been earning money for years and years. Nengo babuza, where is your money? Even they don't know where the money is. So, kati, ono kyagize nenga nti, those of you who are viewing, if you are in a job and you analyze that you have been working for 10 years, you have nothing, retire tomorrow. Go and start something for yourself. Those of you are doctors, you have been working in Mulago for over 30 years. Even you have nothing. You have no clinic you have started. You know? So you must ensure that if you are in a job, you have gotten nothing for the years you have been working there, have been there for 15 years, and you have no any savings, you have no any investments. Sometimes we have to retire ourselves from these jobs and get and start something that we love to do, something that will give
Find
you
your
passion,
purpose, yeah.
something that will, and even she talked about positivity. It's even having the proper mindset regarding achievement in life is something also very good. So let each one go and analyze themselves, see where you are coming from, see where you are and we're heading to. Recently, you see, we demolished our church in Mpigi, and they wanted to secure a loan to buy a piece of land near the parish, and they asked me for my financial card. I went to Centenary Bank, and I discovered that I secured my first loan of 20 million, by the way, in my first year of priesthood. From that year, I was able to hit my first loan of 30 million. To do something, I'll tell you when I come back next time. So for me, I opened up.
Side master, sir.
You
have to come back
first
next
said.
time.
For me, I opened up my first bank account when I was in my senior for vacation. For me, I was ordained when I already had a different understanding of life and money. Each one, you need to know how you are moving into the future regarding money issues.
And money is good.
And money is good. You see, by the way, before I even go any further, just want to let you know that it's like close to approximately 10 minutes to 5. I don't want to say it again, but you know. Now, bringing this conversation home, looking back to where you come from, before you knew all you know right now, what would you tell your younger self today, Hilda?
What I would tell my younger self is to find my purpose and passion way early in life and pursue that relentlessly, because the curve is never linear. You don't just go from level to level, like
Right.
glory to glory. No, sometimes the curve is zigzag. You
Yeah.
take 5 steps behind, you take 2 steps ahead, and you keep fidgeting like that, but keep fidgeting and keep going. You
Keep
will
going.
master the game and you will get it.
Reverend Father.
Yes, for me, one, respect. I would respect each time zone I'm in. That if I'm in primary school, I would enjoy that time. If I'm secondary school, I would enjoy that time. If I'm at university, I would enjoy that time, because these years they form a basement for my future. So wherever you are, respect the time zone and work so hard. Then secondly, if I get my first job, I could begin saving and investing, beginning with my first job. 3, my younger self, I think there was some time when I was not reading enough. I could read at least approximately 50 books per year. I could read so that my head is full of a lot of knowledge, a lot of awareness, so that my store of knowledge can help me to make some proper decisions. Then lastly, I could always surround myself with people who are helpful every time of my life, because many times we are surrounded by people. Sometimes I've been surrounded by people who have not really given me good advice. So my younger self, that as young as I am, from school, from university, from any place of work I could be, I would surround myself with people, because scientifically we are an average of the 4 or 5 people we surround ourselves with, because when they give you the knowledge, it's very easy for you to get a safe landing.
Thank you very much. Everyone online, we thank you for staying with us. We are doing our best now to bring the conversation home soon. But before we go any further, the director of studies of this institution, Ewandos Aisha, is with us. Yes, Aisha.
Well, thank you very much, Uncle Mo.
I think your microphone should, tap it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Uncle Mo. A very good afternoon to our honorable chief guests, Father Reverend Chivi, Hilda, and our esteemed viewers and members on this call today. My name is Aisha Nakanwaji. I am a customer financial advisor at NSSF. I am very privileged to propose a vote of thanks and also acknowledge your contribution to this event today on behalf of NSSF. Today we had an opportunity to hear your thoughts on love and money, and your thoughts have enlightened our minds and shown us a new path. Yeah, you have given a deep insight into the topic, and we thank you for that. Father Chivi, you mentioned that we need to plan for our legacy and leave a legacy that will live generations to come. You are also very big on self-discovery, and also I realize that you're a man of reflection, and you advise that we should all seek knowledge and always reflect. That is something I believe all of us can take on from this call. Hilda, you also clearly pointed out that the journey of wealth thinking and creation starts now and not at 60. Thank you very much for your thoughts on that. Uncle Mo, aka Moses, thank you very much. You gave a very excellent coverage on the topic with your excellent moderation skill set. But before we close, as always, we always have a homework we give our members and viewers. I would like that you recommend a book or a magazine or a documentary that our viewers can subscribe to help them on this journey to financial wellness. Before we close, I would also like that you share the book you recommend and your last words to the audience. Once again, thank you very much on behalf of NSSF, on behalf of the financial literacy team, our back-end team, the live stream team, the financial literacy section, and everyone who has been part of this very occasional event. Thank you very much. Komo and the panelists.
Thank you very much, Aisha. So in this moment, like Aisha said, we need a prescription. Write out people a prescription and send it in, and of course your parting shots.
Okay, for me is money. I love money, not in a bad way, but in a good way. And I know that it is very, very possible. Let me tell you, if you have money, like there's a way you just glow, you just look nice. You know, when I know I have a backup of money somewhere, and I think as some wives we should be very upfront about this. My husband knows that, you know what, I can never run dry. The moment I run dry, I think I will look like I am a zombie somewhere in the streets. I have to have money. So, and I work for it, very hardworking. If I need to travel, if I need to wake up early, if I need to kufungiza, here I come, get my hands dirty, I'll make sure that I have to work. So my parting shots is work, 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 but work smart.
Yeah.
Yes, I know the working hard, we have a phase of working hard, but there's a phase that comes and you really have to work smart. So make sure that you know all those phases, you know where you fall, and you know what happens. I think for the book, I would recommend High Performance. By Brendan. I think that is something, because when you're a high performer, you always have the goal on the prize, and you're always, you know, advancing towards wealth creation. So High Performance, it's an easy book to get. I think you can get it even at a restock or online. So I would recommend that.
Thank you very much, Hilda. Reverend Father.
Yes, my concluding remarks. Life is a treasure. It's a blessing to be alive. It's always good for each one at any age, from the age of reason. For us in the church, age of reason is 7. When you
Yes.
begin understanding, it is your job to become the best of yourself every day, to add value to yourself.
Yes.
You need to know what you want. You need to set up yourself and your system. You must be focused and must know where you are heading to. You must kick out what does not help and only leave what helps. We are each one expects you to have a good direction, that you are moving in the right way. I've been telling people to check always their age, and they say, Father, you are putting us on too much pressure. And you tell them, my friend, we don't grow backwards, we grow onwards. We grow into the future. What you can do now, in 10 years' time, you won't be able to do it.
Yes.
Remain humble. When you get money, don't be too excited. Don't give money out of excitement. Money comes to you when you show it direction. When you show that when you come, you are heading there, we are putting up an apartment, money will continue to come. So I encourage you always to seek knowledge from the right places. Seek knowledge from people. Learn from those who have gone through what you are yet to go through. Everywhere we have good examples in our families, on our villages. Go, be humble enough to go and learn from other people. And the book I would recommend is of course, there is a common book that each one knows, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You see those two dads, they are different approaches to money. And each one has a lesson that each one can pick. So Rich Dad, Poor Dad is the book that I recommend you to read. But even not only that, read about different people who have talked about money. Go to YouTube. I've used YouTube many times.
Yes.
There are so many great people there. Some are alive, some are dead, but there is good information. Then even Google and even some other books. Those who can purchase books online. They are best books about money, about positive living and success. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the panelists. It has been a very rich conversation. I mean, you've heard it. Hilda is big on making sure you work smart. And of course, both of them have been very big on making sure you can suck up as enough knowledge as possible. I believe in that as well. Suck in as enough knowledge as possible. We have authors in front here. So the books you should be reading are the books these guys have written. I've already told you one by Hilda about self-love. You will need it. Yeah, because today you might need to love yourself because the flowers are not coming. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like for me to close with the words of Reverend Father Omwavu Tanyo Chayagala, Omwavu Tera Chayagala, awasaliwo tawasa mukazi gwayagala. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Uncle Mo. Thank you so much, Hilda.
Mic is off.
Thank you so much, Uncle Mo, for moderation, and Hilda and Father Chibi for the great moderation and the key points you've shared with us. I will also leave our audience, with one of the quotes I love from my favorite author, Robin Sharma. He says one thing, that masters have one thing in common: they think like beginners. So all the questions back end that we saw, how people are worried, like where they are now and how will they get where they want to go. Let them think, because masters think like beginners, so let them start now, because if not now, then when? Thank you.
Kari.